Hi, welcome back. In this lesson I'll show you how to create this dagger. And for the most part, there's nothing really special about the handle and the crossguard. This was a cube that was just kind of shaped, and this was a cylinder that was kind of shaped. But specifically I want to focus in on the blade because that can be tricky to get all this stuff polished just right and get a nice clean edge. So I'll show you how I did that. Alright, in the floor there's already a image, and this is my amazing sketch of a dagger that I designed for this character. So just import or rather append a cube and scale. Oh, okay. Alt click the cube, do a nonlinear scale with move down, and roughly we just want it to encompass the blade, and then turn symmetry on and just make it something like that. It doesn't really matter, as you'll see in a second. If you hold Shift F or hit Shift F, you'll see the frame, and we want some more subdivisions in here. So we could do this with Dynamesh, but I'll show you why this is going to be more useful to us. What am I doing here? Geometry, divide with smooth turned off until we get something like that. Maybe divide one more time, delete lower. So now, holding down Shift and Control, select Slice Curve. And to use Slice Curve, you can see that the black part is where it's going to be cut off. Holding spacebar to move it. Just click every so often right along the edge of this blade, and that'll basically make the curve follow it. It can be a little tricky at first. So we got one there. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2. I'm hitting Alt to make it bend. Alright, now if I hit Shift F, you can see what we did here. I'm just gonna go back to my Select Rect, Control click that, and let's turn off our dagger so it's not in the way. So turn off our dagger. There we go. So this is actually both sides of that cube we created. We want to get rid of that just so you could see it more clearly. Turn on double, and you could see what's been created there. You can deselect the back of it and deselect, turn symmetry off, and deselect that side of it. So now we just have this one plane that's shaped like our dagger. Delete hidden, and now we're going to go to Subtool, Extract, take smoothness down all the way, turn off T-border, turn the thickness up, and extract it, and hit Accept. So now we have this thick blade. It doesn't really matter how much you extracted it, because what we're going to do is we're going to move it to the center, and then just hit Mirror and Weld, which you can find in Geometry, Modify Topology, Mirror and Weld. And it's going to mirror it along the x-axis because that's what we have selected here, and that's going to create a center edge. So that center line is going to be the edge of our blade, and this whole area right here is going to be the kind of indented part. So the way we select this in ZBrush, and it's kind of weird because it doesn't show up very well, but if I drag my mask and just select that, you'll see that that kind of became a little bit darker. See? Just show you that again. Became a little bit darker. So now we can just mess with this part here without affecting the actual edge of the blade. Turn your floor back on and use your move tool to scale down, scale sideways, and actually if you just drag the farthest circle of the move tool, you'll see that it does this skew thing to the blade, which in this case is kind of what we want, because we want to skew it so that it roughly fits there. And the reason we did it this way is because now you can see we have this clear hard edge that goes to the center of our blade. And now you can use even your move tool to pull that out, tweak it, adjust it. Just don't smooth it because it'll mess it up. And you can invert it and kind of play with it. Kind of get it where you want it. And then you can always, you want to do that with symmetry, scale it, make it thinner. On mine it was definitely exaggerated, like a big fat piece of metal, but in real life it would probably be a lot thinner than that. This little guy should have been a little sharper. So the next step, if we want to do any kind of editing to this blade, is to go to Dynamesh, turn blur down, turn project on, crank up the resolution, maybe crank up the resolution more, and Dynamesh it. So now we have detail in every part of this blade, and if we want to, we can go in with trim dynamic or mallet, or just put any kind of little imperfections we want on this. I mean, we could even carve into it or carve designs into it, or we can go in with BS3 and put little scratches in it. Whatever we want. We've created like a pretty cool sharp blade. So thanks for watching. In the next lesson I'll show you how to do these kind of little scars, scratches, and also skin scars on the character.